We all hardly believe in the theory of time travel. Is it really exist or not? Who is the scientist that did a deep research about it? Now in this video, we'll discuss the top 10 bizarre phenomenon that exposed time travel theory. Time travel is commonly defined by David Lewis. An object time travels if and only if the difference between its departure and arrival times as measured in the surrounding world does not equal the duration of the journey undergone by the object. Ron Monnet is best known for his scientific position on the possibility of time travel, and he did a deep research about it. Now let's have a look on phenomena that expose time travel. 1. Hipster. We have the hipster, a very popular photo that has been circulating online. So that the photo contains a crowd of people in the 1940s at the reopening ceremony for the South Fork Bridge in British Columbia. Well, in this photo, everyone seems to be dressed up besides the man on the right-hand side of the photo. Everyone else is in suits and top hats, and this tall man seems to be very out of place dressed like a hipster, hence why he was given that name. He can be seen sporting funky sunglasses, a graphic t-shirt, and of course is carrying a camera. Now some believe that he is indeed a time traveler, whereas others have tried to debunk it. They claim that all the items he is seen wearing were available back in 1941 when the photo was taken either. 2. Mike Tyson's fight. We have the fight, a video of Mike Tyson's fight from 1995 went viral online for containing supposed proof of a time traveler in the background of the video. You can see a man who appears to be recording or taking photos of the fight on an iPhone or another modern camera phone. The fight was in 1995 and camera phones were not sold until the 2000s. As a result, many people are convinced that the man in the audience is a time traveler. Who, I guess as a fan of Mike Tyson, would also trip people out is the fact that the main cameras used in the 90s were the ones with the lenses in the middle. This camera is clearly lacking that. However, others believe that the man is not a time traveler and in fact was just taking a photo on a camera known as the Casio Keef 10. Even though it's been potentially debunked, there are people out there that don't believe it for a second. 3. Vladimir Putin. The immortal Vladimir Putin. We've all seen movies where people travel back in time to different eras, and Vladimir Putin seems to be no different in these 3 pictures captured at different points. In time across decades, Vladimir Putin was dressed as a Russian soldier, but the time gap between all 3 images begs the question, is Vladimir Putin a time traveler? Is he a magical, ageless being who has time and again defended his native Russia throughout the ages? Or are these pictures coincidentally showing 3 men who just all seem to look alike? According to a certain website, the first picture is from the 1920s, the second from 1941, and the third from 2015. The difference between 2015 and 1920 is that of 95 years. Yet the man in 2015 looks strikingly young for his age. Putin's followers have even embarked on a mission claiming that their leader is immortal and has been on the planet for thousands of years. 4. Victor Goddard. The legend of Victor Goddard. Victor Goddard was a member of the Royal Air Force who served in England in the World Wars. When he was commanding a squadron during World War I, an air mechanic known as Freddie Jackson walked into a rotating propeller and died from his injuries, but what happened on the day of his funeral would shock everyone. The crew huddled together to take a picture, but when it was looked upon later, Victor Goddard noticed a suspicious man in the top row, and that was Freddie Jackson. This was the first shocking event that Goddard witnessed a few years later. He was sent to check out an abandoned Scottish airfield in the village of Drem, and when he reached it, he saw that it was in complete ruins. Later on, when he was on his way back to the plane, he was interrupted by heavy rain and decided to go back to Drem and wait it out. But when he approached the airfield, the rains had stopped and given way to bright sunshine. The same airfield was now wholly repaired and in use. To Goddard's shock, his aircraft was also painted yellow. And when he reached back, he told everyone that he had had a vision. But no one believed him. Almost 4 years later, in 1939, the drum was repaired and put back into action, and all of the RAF planes were painted a bright yellow. So was it a vision, or did Goddard actually time travel? 5. John Titor. John Titor, the time traveler. In late 2000, John Titor joined the forum at the Time Travel Institute, claiming that he was a soldier that had been sent from the year 2036, which would one day be the year that the computer virus would wipe out the whole world from existence. He said that his mission was to travel back to 1975, steal the IBM 5100 computer, and according to him, this computer would have all the vital information that was needed to fight the virus in the future over the next few months. He answered user queries about such things. All things in fact which included future scenarios and realities. He also provided many technical specifications about how time travel worked, along with overly complex algorithms and photos of his actual time machine. And what better way to prove the existence of a time machine than by its very blueprints? Finally, in 2001, he signed off forever and then returned home and was never heard from again. People believe that he actually returned to his own timeline once. 6. Jack Black. This one is honestly the funniest one on this list. You know, Jack Black is talented when he has a successful acting career, currently, and also way back in the day in Italy. So this old Italian poster literally looks like it has Jack Black on the cover, like, excuse me. They have the same facial expression and everything. Does that mean that Jack Black went back in time so he could be a famous actor in Italy, or what? Maybe this was his way to do research for one of the films he was in, you know, to like really get into character. Who knows? At this point, Jack Black is a time traveler. 7. Lawrence Jennifer. Lawrence is an actress who was the world's highest paid actress in 2015 and 2016. She appeared in Time's 100 Most Influential People in the World list in 2013 and on the Forbes Celebrity 100 list from 2013 to 2016. She has many accolades, including an Oscar, 3 Golden Globe Awards, 6 People's Choice Awards, and 7 MTV Movie Awards. She's best known for her roles in Silver Linings Playbook, Don't Look Up, and the Hunger Games films. Now Jennifer looks very similar to famous Egyptian actress Zubaida. Salwa Zubaida was an Egyptian film, stage, and television actress who was known for the most beautiful eyes in classic Egyptian cinema. She was known for movies such as The Guilty, The Other Man, and There Is a Man in Our House, with both of them being famous actresses. I can totally see them being the same person. 8. Skater Boy. Skateboarding was an activity that became increasingly popular during the mid-70s. But here's the thing, there's a photo of a well-dressed man boarding through New York Central Park. The photo was taken back in the 1960s when very few people were out skateboarding. In fact, it was very rare to see people skateboarding before the 70s because it was not a popular activity at all. And even when it did become popular, it took years before it was embraced as a real sport. So then who is this man in a suit that is riding a board? He looks super out of place. This has led people to believe that he is a time traveler from the future that clearly, like skateboarding, has his method of transportation. 9. Andrew Carlson. A self-proclaimed time traveler in March of 2003. The FBI arrested 44-year-old Andrew Carlson. This man had been fortunate because he had profited from the stock market like no other. Within 2 weeks, the man had transformed the $800 he invested into $350 million. Suspicious that Andrew was an inside trader or a scammer. The FBI interrogated him, and he said that he had actually traveled back in time from the year 2556 and had known exactly how the stocks would perform. All of the newspapers went crazy with reports of the man from the future. But the best was still yet to come. After much investigation, the FBI found that there was actually no record of Andrew's existence before the year 2002. On April 3rd, Andrew was bound to appear in court for the case, but he never showed up. In fact, after that day, he was never found again. Someday, he traveled back to the year that he was from, never to return. This is one of the best pieces of evidence that we may have for time travel. 10. Mysterious Man. In 1917, time-traveling surfer, the next photo would be captured over 100 years ago in Canada and shows a group of people sitting on the edge of a rock. But the picture stands out for one very peculiar reason. A man sitting in the center seems to be straight out of the 20th century, judging from his clothing, which doesn't match those of others around him. The man is speculated to have been from the future. The photo would first be discovered in Lester Ray Peterson's 1974 book, The Great Cape Scott Story, A Tale of the Canadian Region's History. Most have now begun to call this man the Surfer Man, who appears to be wearing a baggy t-shirt and shorts and has a modern windswept haircut, painting all around different scenes in itself. Even the man to his left seems utterly stunned by his appearance in the picture, and whether or not the Surfer Man had better style than the rest, or perhaps he was a time traveler, that's still a mystery even to this day. That's all about today's video. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.